Hello everyone. So I am Shruti Kaura and today I am going to touch a very important topic and a facet of RC practice, that is how to do the reading comprehension practice through novels. How can novels help you? So let's go ahead. Let's understand the beautiful aspect of RC practice through novels. Let's go ahead. Now, if you move further, if you clearly see here that Unacademy has given a lot of benefits. There is no doubt in that, right? So this particular month, if you subscribe, you'll get a benefit of 6 months plus 1 month. That is overall 6 plus 1. So that is the beauty. If you enroll for your CAT preparation this month, it's a bumper offer. Use the code SCORALIVE to get the 10% discount as well as to get that 1 month free. Perfect. Let's go ahead. Next. Now, if you look further, as far as about Shruti Kaura, that is about me, it's concerned, I am an award winner at Unacademy. You can have a glimpse of my award here, right? Next, if you all would like to contact me, or if you all would like to be a part of my Unacademy family, then join my Telegram channel, that is CAT by Shruti Kaura, link of which I have already given here. Join the Telegram channel, discuss with me, call me, and make sure all your query gets solved, all your doubts get resolved. Now, for getting the 10% discount as well as to get the 1 month free, use the code SCORALIVE, which is clearly written here. Now, the most important question, how to buy the Unacademy subscription. If you're planning to go for the plus subscription, so there are 3 options available. That is the 6 months, 12 months and 24 months. And at the end of it, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a text box for the referral code. So use the referral code SCORALIVE here and click on proceed to pay. You'll get a number of options, be it Paytm, be it EMI, be it anything. You'll get all the options to make your payment, right? After all, Unacademy takes care of everything. Moving further, in case you feel that you would like to go for the iconic subscription where you'll be getting the personal mentors, right? Secondly, there'll be bi-weekly reviews. And third, you'll get all the benefits of Plus, which I showed you earlier in the previous slide. Here also, at the bottom of the screen, you can see a referral code column. Use the referral code SCORALIVE, not only to get the 10% discount, but also to get the bumper offer, that is 6 plus 1. Wonderful. Moving further, we have a doubt feature as well. So Unacademy, make sure that if you have any doubt, you can click ask a doubt on the screen. On your screen, you can see ask a doubt. Then take a picture. Just, choose that picture from the gallery. Crop the image for whatever particular question you would like to ask your doubt. Simply upload that and select the subject. Be it for quants, be it for DILR, it's up to you. Moving further, what else are we going to do today? Now, RC practice through novels. Leaders are always readers. As I always say, yes, I do believe in it that if you really plan to be even a manager or a leader, leaders are always avid readers. Next. So, this is a different line, no? Books are man's best friend. You must be thinking what this image of a plant and a Buddha and a lot of books, what Shruti ma'am is trying to tell here. Actually, I'm telling you honestly, this line is something which you are going to believe after watching this video. Books are definitely man's best friend, and I'll show you the analogy. How is it possible? Next. Now, I'm pretty sure for those who are thirsty for knowledge, Books are the best option for quenching their thirst. We all are, definitely we all become thirsty for water. But a lot among us are thirsty for the knowledge. That is why you join all my special classes plus sessions on Unacademy. Wherever I take session, wherever I take sessions, you make sure that you all join. What's the reason behind that? Obviously, you all have a thirst for knowledge and you would like to quench it. So, these novels are the non-academic books. We all are always interested in the academic books. We always want that, even from childhood, academic books has always been a priority. They have always been a priority. But, talking about novels which are non-academic books or they are not so much important, we sometimes give it a kind of a, corner seat. They are always not the main priority. But let me tell you, if you're looking for knowledge, if you would like to understand something which is beyond academic, novels are a best option. But my YouTube videos, this particular series will actually quench your thirst not only for the academics but for the non-academic part too, because I am not only taking the novels, I am taking the reading comprehension practice through novels. And that's very beautiful concept. So no more novels will take the secondary seat, they'll be on the back seat. No. Right? Now all of you have studied so long with me. It's the time you start considering this option. Right? What I'll do is that I'll teach you about the plot of the book, about the books that you should read and how you can get the benefit of the reading of these books in your reading comprehension too. Right? Let's go ahead. Now, as I promised you, how, books could be your best friends. So what do best friends do? They, cheer you up when you are down. They soothe your soul. They make you laugh out loud. They are basically your companions, right? They are your best companions, your best buddies. So whenever you're down, whenever you're upset or whenever you're feeling low, you always make sure that you talk to someone or you listen to someone to get that good feelings so that you can actually lift yourself up. Something is knocking you down. Something is actually, pushing you down. So it's time to lift you up. So either definitely you join my sessions, you listen to me, because according to you, in my sessions you get a lot of positivity. But apart from that, you go ahead and check your books as well. Right? Now, if you move further, if you actually check all these YouTube videos, you're going to get the dual benefits from this video. Point number one, you're going to learn about the novel. Point number two, you're going to practice RC through it. There is no doubt in that. Let's go ahead, let's understand how is this possible. How are we going to do it? Right? Now, the book that we are going to study today is the Peter Pan. Trust me, it's a very important book. Peter Pan, and the author is James M. Barrie. J.M. Barrie. That is James Matthew Barrie. So, this book is about Peter Pan. Definitely, as the name suggests. And, it is the boy. He just refused to grow up as as an adult. He is that, little mischievous boy. He can fly. He has that, powers. Of course, no doubt he's an adventurer. So, somewhere we are making some mental image about Peter Pan. That, that little stubborn, mischievous child who refused to grow up as an adult. Fine. And it is set on the island of Neverland. So, what is that next word? Wendy, Darling and her brothers. And then there is a fairy called as Tinkerbell, the Lost Boys, the Indian Princess, Tiger Lily, and the pirate Captain Hook. I mean, of course, these are all the characters. But what is so important about this book? What is the main theme of the Peter Pan story? Why do we feel that this book is really important? What is so special about this book? And why are we discussing it? How is it going to help us? Let's find out. Now, if you look here, the main theme of the story is the conflict. You want to remain a child, but you know that you have to become an adult. You have a desire that you would like to actually remain as a child throughout your life. But then you have to be an adult because that is how, nature's law is. So what this Peter Pan is going to do there? So he is actually, a living and a breathing manifestation of the desire to remain a child. Somewhere, all of us, deep down inside all of us, we all would like to be a child throughout our life. Nobody would like to take the responsibilities. But then, as gradually we grow up, we understand that there are a lot of people who are associated with us. Our life has got a lot of stakeholders. We are answerable to them, and we have to be. So you can say this is kind of a living and breathing manifestation of the desire to remain a child forever without responsibility or cares. Then, what is a moral lesson here? Is the author trying to teach us that being a child throughout your life is okay? Or the author is trying to tell you that all those who are struggling to remain as a child throughout their lifetime should actually consider themselves, kind of lucky that they got a chance to read this book Peter Pan, and now they should transform. What exactly the author is trying to do? Let's go ahead and find out. Basically, the research, it's not that my words are there, but the research found out that there were various moral values developed in Peter Pan. In a conflict to remain as a child and then transforming to an adult. He developed a lot of moral values. And what those moral values were? What happened? I'll tell you. So basically, he developed a positive thought, responsibility, as I was just mentioning earlier, mutual help, right? Gratitude, as I always say, attitude should be an attitude of gratitude. So positive thought, responsibility, mutual help, gratitude. No, this is somewhere difficult for a child to understand, but now he's entering into the world of adults. So he started developing these qualities. That's good. Then friendship. Yes. Schools, colleges, jobs. We do make friends. Bravery. Sometimes you have to face the storm. Sometimes you have to take the difficult decisions. So bravery, yearning, longing, kinship, attachment to your nears and dears one, your kith and kin. These were all the moral lessons, the moral values that Peter Pan developed. Right? And why is the Peter Pan so popular? What is this Peter Pan popularity all about? Let's go and find out. Stories that begin with an orphan, usually a child, but can be young adult. And what he finds out, obviously he's an orphan, then he grows up to be an adult. But he has that special powers. He finds out that he has special powers. And now when somebody realizes that he or she has got special powers, so there is one thing that you always have to do. There has to be a wise judgment whether you are going to use those powers for good or for evil. Because anyway, the path which is, a little tough is definitely the good path, and the path which seems initially very easy is always the bad path, or it's the evil thing. So our human beings are sometimes inclined in such a way that they would like to choose the evil things first. Because anyway, the good path is always an arduous journey. You have to take so many difficult decisions. So sometimes our mind is actually framed in such a way, it's designed in such a way that we would love to take, or we would love to accept or agree on the easiest things first. So now comes the main twist, that you realize your special powers. Now you know that whether you would like to use them for good or evil. Next. Now this is the same thing what Superman, Batman, Spiderman, Harry Potter, that same motive make these stories powerful. Batman realizes the same thing. Spider-Man realizes the same thing. Superman realizes the same thing. So basically, that what makes Peter Pan popular. Next, again you have to see. Now, there were two approaches as I shared with you. For the RC practice, either you can go for the PQ approach, that is a passage first or the questions afterwards, or the QP approach, that is the questions first and the passage afterwards. So accordingly, you all can decide whichever approach you would like to take, but I'll be discussing both the approaches with you. Whichever approach you find it comfortable, you can take that. Rest, others can follow wherever they feel they would like to go ahead. Now, condescending or patronizing is the first one. Belligerent, warlike. Biased, you have an inclination of choosing only one side. Narrative, where the author is telling the story. So keep these pointers in mind, because I suggest whenever you encounter tone-like questions, right? Always go and check the questions, and whenever you get a question where the tone is being asked, try to read the passage with these tones in the mind. Like, which tone is the best answer? Let's go ahead and find out. All children except one grow up. They soon know that they'll grow up. And the way Wendy knew was this. One day, when she was 2 years old, she was playing in a garden, and she plucked another flower and ran with it to her mother. I suppose she must have looked rather delightful, for Mrs. Darling put her hand to her heart and cried, "Oh, why can't?" Now here we are getting some point that all children except one, that is a Peter Pan, he does not want to grow up. And then we got it, they soon know that they'll grow up. Of course, they know that they'll grow up one day. And one day, she was 2 years old, she was playing in a garden. She plucked one flower and ran it with her mother. So, she must have looked rather delightful, for Mrs. Darling put her hand to her heart and cried, "Oh, why can't you remain like this forever?" Right? So you're getting the main thing, the main idea. This was all that passed between them on the subject. Okay, but henceforth, Wendy knew that she must grow up. Again, certain things are being repeated. They are being emphasized. Wendy knew that she must grow up. You always know after you are 2. 2 is the beginning of the end. Wow, beautiful lines. And of course, they lived at 14. So that is their house number on their street. And until Wendy came, her mother was the chief one. So again, author has given a description about her mother as well. She was a lovely lady with a romantic mind and such a sweet, mocking mouth. My God, look at the sarcasm here. We are not really sure whether the author is being sarcastic, but then it's written mocking mouth. So you should note down these keywords. Now try to create some mental maps while you are reading. Next, her romantic mind was like the tiny boxes, right? One with the other, that comes from the puzzling ease. Now somewhere we are talking about her personality as well. However, many you discover there is always one more. And her sweet mocking mouth had one kiss on it that Wendy could never get. Though there it was, perfectly conspicuous in the right hand corner. Something which is clearly visible, or you can notice that is conspicuous. So here we are getting an idea. They are discussing about Wendy and her mother, and that same idea about being that whether she wants to grow up to be an adult or not. Secondly, about her mother as well. So there is a complete description about her mother as well. The description is not only about Wendy, but then it was about her mother as well. This is what we have realized by reading it till date. Now, before we go ahead and solve the questions, I would like to see all your faces and names here on this screen for the next time. Next. Now, again, the options are there in my mind. I have read the question again. And now, the tone is narrative. So, are you feeling somewhere that the author is actually acting in a patronizing way? He's acting as if he's superior to others? No. Did you feel like the author is having that, warlike attitude? He's having some kind of, arguments of warlike? No. An author was not even biased. He was just narrating. It was a form of a story. And once you join my plus sessions, I'll teach you different types of narratives as well. There are some different types of narratives as well. That also we'll teach you. But for the time being, looking at the bigger picture, narrative is the tone of the passage here. Moving further. Now, why are we going for this particular, answer that narrative is the tone? What is the explanation behind it? Let's go and find out. So it represents the author's sentiment. Of course, tone is what? Tone is like author's sentiment or attitude toward the subject. So basically, what is a predominant emotion? What is that author displaying? The predominant emotion toward the subject. So here, of course, the author is just narrating about the Wendy, then about her mother. That's it. Next. Now, an important question. What can you infer about Mrs. Darling? Is she creative and forgetful? Has an unsettled marriage? Is an authoritative, complex woman? She was clueless about her needs and wants, unintentionally refused those around her. Is that the case? Let's go and find out. By infer, I mean 90% of the time it's implicit, and we have to check from a perspective which is not too far away from what's written in the passage. So let's go and find out. Now, if you look here, the narrator notes until Wendy came, her mother was the chief one. This is a line that is mentioned there in the passage. And then it further describes Mrs. Darling as a woman who will not compromise. She'll not compromise. Right? So kind of is it strong-headed. So both Mr. Darling and Wendy are seemingly unable to access the full extent of Mrs. Darling's affection. Now, why the answer is she is an authoritative? We got it from that line. But I'm not sure about this complex woman. So let's go and find out, has the passage mentioned somewhere that she is a complex woman too? Let's go ahead. Now, the description of Mrs. Darling's mind. So you must remember that in the passage, there was a line where it was written like the tiny boxes, one within the other. And we are talking about Mrs. Darling's mind. That comes from the puzzling. Again, the word puzzling is. So that she is a woman who is difficult to, fully understand. So that is how we got that answer, complex and authoritarian. Whereas if you check about E, let's go back and check the E. Unintentionally refuse those around her. Is it like that? No. There is no mention of counter statement of her husband or daughter. No, that's not the case. That, something has happened unintentionally or accidentally. No. Even forgetful, sometimes you can say that, but no. Romantic and creative are two different things. You cannot say one who is creative is romantic. And even in the passage, did you find any evidence of her imaginative capabilities? No. So that is why those answers were not correct. Now, if you look at the option B, let's go back and check the option B. It says she has an unsettled marriage. Oh my God, that seems like totally out of context. Although from that elusive kiss, you could think, but no. It is not hinting at the fact that she has an unsettled marriage. Because it's not explicitly stated in the passage that there is some issue present in her wedlock. No. There is no issue present in her wedlock. Next. If you look at D, it's saying that she was undecided or she is undecided. No. In the passage, there is no reference, there is no, fact that is suggesting towards this particular option that she is undecided. So that's also incorrect. Now, whenever you read, I suggest you do the following. Create a lot of mental maps. Use your background knowledge. once you're reading the passage, start imagining in your mind about Wendy, about her mother, what she's doing. This will help you in actually remembering the lines of the passage and to, of course, in the mental maps too. Then use your background knowledge. Ask lot of questions in your mind so that those particular questions will help you to remember the information or feed the information to your mind. Next, of course, if you feel that there is a need to infer or you're getting some inference by reading the lines, so do read between the lines. Then try to find out the main idea or the central theme, that what the author is trying to exactly convey here. Is there any symbolic language? Are there any kind of allegories or metaphors that the author is trying to tell you? Next, and the most important, once you have read the passage, right? Once you have read the passage, try to connect the dots. For example, you have read the passage and the passage is quite long. You don't remember what you read in the first paragraph, but once you have created the mental maps, secondly, try to connect all the paragraphs together. Exactly what this information is leading you towards. For example, be like a CID. You have got different clues. Try to join those clues to actually reach to the final, kind of conclusion. Then the last one, use fix-up strategies. Now, what is this fix-up strategies? Fix-up strategies are nothing but, let's say, some particular part of the passage you are unable to understand. So now you need to reread. Just reread that particular part, right? Try to, even if you have reread and you are unable to get it, skip ahead, go further, ask the question. So fix-up strategies are the thing readers do when they recognize that they don't understand what they just read. So they include strategies such as asking questions, rereading, skipping ahead, using the dictionary to understand an unknown word or phrase. This is what you call the fix-up strategies. I have read something, but I was unable to get the meaning. I read the complete passage. I got a lot of meaning of a lot of sentences, but at some particular part of the passage, I am stuck. Follow the fix-up strategies there. Next, this is a YouTube assignment for all of you. Solve this question. Although I have given you the answer, solve this question and share the scores with me, right? Of course, in the Telegram channel. Try to see how much have you understood. Because, for example, if you're going to get a passage in the exam, it's not like that you must be knowing everything about that topic. Similarly, let's assume you don't know completely about the novel. For example, the Peter Pan. But you have got some excerpt from that novel. So are you in a position to actually solve the question based on that particular passage or excerpt? This is what the test is all about. So do the assignment. I'm pretty sure you thoroughly enjoyed. At the end of it, just remember that there are two things, right? Of course, they'll give you amusement. No doubt dance is one of them. Dance, amuse you. And reading also definitely is something which will amuse you too. At the end of the day, you have got nothing to lose. So let us read, let us dance. These two amusements will never do any harm to the world. It's not said by me, by Voltaire. Perfectly fine. So there are a lot of batches, enroll for them. There are a lot of scholarships. Do go ahead for them. And if you face any kind of trouble, any kind of issue, discuss with me on my Telegram channel, that is CAT by Shruti Kaura. Join my plus sessions by using the code SKauraLive to get the 10% discount and to get the scheme of 6+1. Alright, I'll take your leave today. That's Shruti Kaura signing off for today. Thank you.